County Commissioners Court, Tuesday, November 12th, 2013, 9:30 a.m. This is a regular meeting. Make note that the meeting has been posted for the manner and for the time required. And make note that all members of the court are present. Please stand for invocation of pledges by Mr. Sykes.
Yes, sir. Let us pray. Most gracious Heavenly Father, thank you for this day. Thank you for the rights and privileges of freedom and liberty that are afforded by our country. Thank you for the soldiers, the men and women who keep evil from our doors and protect them each and every day. Thank you for the rights and privileges to be a citizen in this wonderful place in Young County. Please grant us the blessing of rain. In Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you. This evening. Item number 3, announcements, public comments, presentations. We have a statement of financial position report from adult probation. Cheryl, you have any comment about that?
She gave that to me. The state just requires we put it through Commissioners Court minutes, no action taken, just information on what they had left in their 13-year, which ended at the end of August.
On another note, I attended the GISD elementary program for the veterans at First Baptist. It was a moving, very nice honoring of the veterans that we have. Put together very nicely. Also have breakfast with VFW. They have an annual breakfast on this day. A little lightly attended very early, but it was very early when I was there, so but it was a very good breakfast. Are there any other announcements or presentations they need to be made mention of? If not, we'll move on to item 4. Consider county clerk's minutes from the previous meeting, October 28th, 2013. I think there was made mention to me that there was she didn't have a second. I didn't get to review minutes. Was that Commissioner Wiley make the second? Okay,
That's item 18.
Item 18.
She was aware of that. She's also aware of item 11. The $3,500 needs to be changed to $3,805.
Public defender.
That's on item
11. With those changes, I'll make a motion to approve those minutes.
Second.
We have motion from Commissioner Rogers, second from Commissioner Wiley to accept these minutes as corrected. All in favor? Carried. Item number 5, are there any financial matters?
Still all the months are open.
Okay. No action. Item number 6, consider update on securities pledge.
2,401,053.61. So moved.
Second. Motion by Commissioner Wiley, second by Commissioner Rogers to accept the update on securities pledges as presented. All in favor? Carried. No opposition. Item number 7, consider budget amendments. There's some. Budget amendments. Okay. Consider payment of vouchers.
We have some 13 and some 14 vouchers this time. we're pretty much through paying the 13 vouchers out of any of the budgets. And I've talked to Basic IDIQ, we're gonna get invoicing to finish up the window stuff, so we pay it out of 13, need to hold the checks, whatever, but we need to close that year out. So, this morning, what I have out of 13, which one of the bills was the Basic IDIQ for the windows, total $46,987.58, and out of 14, $151,843.83.
What was that figure again?
151,843.83 for 14. Year 13.
We got my bill changed.
Yes, sir, it's on 13 now. So if you would, we changed something with Stacy's to 13, so if you would sign the first 2 pages. Yep, of each one of them, we moved that to 13 instead of.
So we want a voucher.
Got a motion by Commissioner Pruitt, second by Commissioner Sykes to approve the vouchers payable as presented, including 2013 and 2014. All in favor? Carried.
And we did, we paid for the thermal cameras through the grant that the SO had ordered, and we got that money already reimbursed last week.
That was
23,511, something.
we have the grant from District Attorney's Office.
Yeah, it's still open, and they haven't made that purchase yet. I think she's gonna get with Eric and get some things on it, but it's only open till March, so we need to, as soon as you can, get with them, yeah.
Okay. Is it that office, they need to make some kind
The
of,
DA.
for the DA?
No, I mean, they've already, everything's, they just need to make the purchase so we can get it done, so I can get it, put it in for reimbursement.
Okay, item number 9, be consider moving remaining money committed to healthcare to the general fund. County Auditor Director.
We've paid all the bills we're gonna pay out of there, and,
What's the fund balance there?
98,881.69.
There's just a few dollars.
Okay, there'll be a little interest to the end, once we get to see that.
Any reason to maintain that at all?
No, we paid all the bills that she had at the time, got everything caught up so that we could go ahead and get that moved over.
Yeah, we talked about
I talked to Ken about that, we'll move it over, and then we'll have to do, it transfers out and then transfers in and move it in there.
So we need a motion to zero that balance and move it to the general fund
Yes.
balance of the
So moved.
healthcare.
I would probably end up doing the fast, doing them in and put it over into, get like your.
Well, I think we'll have to make sure all
Okay,
the
we have a
outstanding
motion by
checks.
Mr. Wiley, second by Mr. Rogers to transfer funds from the indigent healthcare account, zero that balance out, and move all funds to the general.
Yes, once all the.
Yeah, once all the checks have cleared the bank, then we'll close that bank account. It has a separate bank account.
All in favor?
Aye.
Carried. Okay, item number 10 is consider whether to bid property vehicle liability insurance or whether to continue with TAC.
I have gotten them back the information they requested for renewal. Of course, I haven't received anything, but before I did receive a price, I just wanted to make sure that y'all don't want to go out for bid since it is tagged. We have an interlocal government, where we don't have to bid it out. We have several things going on right now that is going to fall back on the insurance with them, so just up to y'all normally do.
You can fall back on them, that's.
It'll fall back on them either way.
Either way, it doesn't matter. I would say we just leave it the way it is for another year until we get this behind us.
I disagree, I think we should do it out. That's just my opinion.
Most counties that have, once they get in with tags, they usually stick with them.
Weren't we having some situations where we were paying for,
No, what it was is when you get rid of a really, really old vehicle, there were a few that would be a few $100s, like on the constable vehicles, because those were old ones that, you know, it was just depreciated out. So when we had the new ones, it added a couple of hundred each that we had to pay out, but
were we paying change fees of some sort of service fees when we made those changes?
I guess, I mean, it was just the, you know, probably we just had the, yeah, because probably on those 03 and 05 big Crown Vics, we probably just had like a liability timing.
I mean, were we paying them an additional fee just to make those changes on the policy?
No, I mean, every time I make a change, I don't get charged, just when it replaces something that has been depreciated.
Or add something new.
Yeah, but with those, in that case, we added the brand new vehicles and got rid of 05 and
Other than premium, we weren't paying anything additional for making those transactions
no,
on our policy?
no, because I add equipment and take off all the time. And like on the motor graders, they're not that old, so usually I won't see, when you trade off a motor grader, I won't see that big of a, or any changes there.
The only reason I disagree with Jimmy is because I think that we owe it, because I know y'all know we probably got at least one local agent that wants to bid on it. And I think it's only fair that we see what he's got to say. That's my opinion.
We don't know right at the moment what tax rates are gonna do.
No, I don't have a price in here.
I think it's difficult to spend this much money, taxpayer money, without making sure we're paying a competitive rate.
Is that a motion to go out for bids?
No, sir. It's a comment made about making sure we spend this money properly.
Well, I don't mind going out for bid, most of the time, even this time, but the property liability, those kinds of things, from tax were developed for county use. You know, there may be times that it may be beneficial to go out for bid and get quotes. I think that probably take, might need another year or two experience with Young County before we do that.
Well, we're kind of in a pool with just counties, rather than getting in a pool with the independent carrier. So, I think we might get some better rate with tag rather than the individual getting thrown in out there with just a boat.
But we don't know until we have it, until we find out. You understand what I'm saying?
Is that a motion to go back from that?
The only thing I see is we got the budget set on what tax is doing. And I don't know that I see that the tax will be going up anymore, or what they are.
Right, we got the budget set on, but if somebody came in lower, we don't go under.
We see what they did,
I mean, it's not gonna hurt.
we see what they did versus what it was before, it's cut nearly in half. On our liability of our buildings and everything, it's half about what it was from the individual.
It would be an easy decision to make then if we had those kind of bids, where they were half what the other bids were.
And we could justify it to the taxpayer then that we actually did this. And it'd be fair to the local. If we could spend our money in Young County, it'd be a whole lot better than spending it in Austin, Texas.
They're not a for-profit insurance carrier, so they can cut it pretty slim.
Mr. Robert, they have to be a for-profit insurance company that don't stay in business because they've got their reserves. They've got to place money in those reserves, so they have to make more than the premiums and losses equate in order to do that.
have a free insurance too.
I'm sure they
All
can.
that make those.
And I think us having our unemployment workers' comp gave us a little bit.
That's like 63 or 6,500, wasn't it?
So
Reduction.
it's over $6,000.
You received a
And
check.
what we did was, yeah, well, we took it, actually, they let me discount it off of that actual, how much we were paying on that workers' comp.
On the workers' comp.
It's a pleasure of the court to stay with TAC or to advertise for bids for the property liability vehicle insurance.
I'll make the motion that we go out for bids, just so we can, like you said, we can at least provide our taxpayer with no questions or anything in our head that we actually didn't go out for the cheapest one.
Okay, we have a motion to advertise for bids for that. Is there a second? All in favor? Aye. All opposed? That was 3-4. Hear that right? 2. I didn't hear you in opposition. Did you oppose? Did you vote?
Yes.
You voted for it?
Yes.
Okay, that's 4. And no reason for me to vote there. It's 401.
When do you want to open these bids in December or sometime? I will not be here on the 9th of December for our first meeting. The insurance is good till the end of December. But I mean, it doesn't matter if I'm here, Kay will be coming in to open bids, but
I would prefer to open them on the 9th of December so that we might have something we need to discuss the next meeting.
well, we don't even have to do that. We can move it to open on the last of this month,
Can we open last, how long has that been?
2 weeks.
Two
We
weeks.
don't have to
I don't
talk
think
about
that's
it.
fair, though. I don't think that's fair to
I'd really like to be.
just
here
go it
to
out
open
there for
them.
somebody like that. So you got 2 weeks to come up with this.
Run a 4-week
I
time.
understand that, but
Why would it not be fair?
Could you give a guy 2 weeks to come up with all this?
If you can't come up with it in 2 weeks,
Come on, guys, we gotta be fair about
That
this.
is-
2 weeks is fair.
2 weeks is more than fair.
I think
If they've got everything that's entered in the computer, in today's age, you can throw it together in 2 days if you want to. You got to write stuff.
I've heard people in the past talk about the insurance, our health insurance, that we're giving people 2 weeks to come up with that stuff. And
Health insurance is different.
I'm still talking about insurance is insurance to me. I mean, I know it's not to you, sir. Right. What I'm saying, I think we ought to just be fair to everybody that's trying to put in a bid. That's just my opinion. Y'all can do what you want, but you know where I stand on it.
Our next regular scheduled meeting will be on the 25th. That would be 1 day short of 2 weeks. Next meeting following that, I think, will be the 9th,
Well, I can get it in,
unless we have a special meeting.
I might can get it in Wednesday's paper.
Maybe we'll just meet on the 26th and meet special meeting. And just go from there. The only thing is with a special meeting, you can't decide.
Excuse me.
Yeah, so we want to go there again.
You can't decide on special
And
meeting.
it's gonna be,
Yeah, we're gonna go there again.
And we got to have full 2 weeks.
well, I have to get it in the paper, and if I can get it in, Wednesday,
So do it December 9th.
I think you can decide that if you want, a special meeting.
If you do it Wednesday, get it
well, if I
Wednesday.
can get it in, if I can get it in Wednesday's paper, it's next Tuesday, though.
It'll be advertised in 2 weeks. We can do it on, it'd be eligible to do on the 25th.
I mean, my office has information ready to print out and give to whoever.
If the necessity, I believe, would be to be in 2 separate weeks publication. You can accomplish that task on Wednesday and
Better make
Sunday.
sure not getting the same sticky mess we got in last time. Do you agree?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's the same scenario.
Yes, it is.
it'll qualify as 2 weeks being in 2 different editions. That can be easily accomplished. separate weeks of
I
publication.
might not be able to get it until the weekend paper and then Wednesday.
Yeah,
If I can get it in Wednesday, today's Tuesday, that's Monday.
that's right, this is not Monday.
I know, if it were Monday, I'd say there's no problem, I can get it in, but
That's what I'm saying, the 9th.
I can go make a phone call right quick and see.
We can get it in Sunday's paper, and then the following Sunday's paper.
And try Wednesday, and if not, do.
He said he can get in Wednesday, he guaranteed.
I did not guarantee.
No,
Well, he was quick on that.
but I can make a phone call and say, but I'll try to get it in Wednesday, if not Sunday, and then next Wednesday.
Sunday and next Wednesday, and next Sunday, the Sunday and the following Sunday.
Okay, and then open them November,
When you want to receive them
I
by,
want to receive them on the Friday, before the meeting.
okay, that'll be on 23rd, no, 22nd,
By 4
5
p.m.
p.m.
Or
4
4
p.m.
p.m., we close usually at 4 on Friday. And open them on November 25th.
4 p.m. 11/22nd.
Open them at 10 o'clock.
Yeah. 10 a.m. 25th.
Okay,
I don't mind. Hurry.
Who wants to make that motion? Okay. Second. All in favor? Any opposed?
You vote that time, Judge.
Excuse me, you voted
Vote
that time, I didn't vote that time either. 3-1. Okay, we got that settled. We'll open the bid. We'll open the 25th. Item number 11. Consider bids, going for bids on road material, culverts, fuel. So, it's something we normally do a little bit later on.
Yeah, and I thought, well, since there's a couple of new ones in there, and I've got them printed out, the new rock companies, I just want to make sure that everybody got one to send to.
61 right now.
Yes, that's called Tex Rock. I've got DNA out of Wichita Falls and Zach Burkett for road materials.
I gave it to your card. Where'd you get that information?
I've got it, well, we've got it in the computer now. I've got the fuel is Aldi Fuel, Young County Butane, and All-Star Fuel. And I guess the contact, that's the only contact.
Our contacts over on the total company that we have in our history is not to accept the fuel bid.
Yeah.
We did that.
Okay, I mean,
History of the board is to reject any bid that we receive or accept all bids that we received.
Can I ask you a question like that? I think I explained it to you. Like, for me, like for Jones Road, for me to go to the 1191 pit, it's almost 80 miles. For me to go to Breckenridge is 40 miles. Does this make sense? So that's what I'm saying. I mean, when we get these bids, is it possible that we get them all? I mean, I can use this bid too, or this bid, which one's ever closer.
Well,
I'm using it if I'm going to your road with it, it's easier to use that. One of the other roads,
we've done that. I mean, that's certainly been a history of the court to do those things, whatever it's PNS Stone and
whichever one.
Perky were the two providers. I don't know if that exactly follows bid law. We've done that quite often.
What does bid law say about this?
Well, I'd have to get down reading.
Not accept, do we have to take bid?
Yes. Would be over a $50,000 expenditure, and
Then
the only way that
was
we-
take bids, and we'll discuss it when we open those bids.
the only way that we wouldn't have to take bids would be if it was a single source supplier.
Now, So if we have a single source supplier of culverts, we don't have to be there.
No, but it'd be a good idea to do what we do, and get a price, pricing.
That way we'll get our price sheet, so y'all know how much it is.
We'll still, I mean, even using the rock, we still get them locked in on the price over here. True.
There's a
Yeah,
culvert
that's what
supplier in Paradise, Texas, where those culverts are.
Paradise, Texas.
Right there on 114, going through Paradise. They were supplying Barney and Shell with culverts. They've got quite a yard there, that's why that's being manufactured by the culvert company.
On manufacturer, that other one area is
Seymour.
Contact.
Contact, we own Seymour, and they own Texas, both Texas Steel.
And there may be some other people that are
Selling.
using their selling.
Yeah.
So that's a possibility there. The one that was in the Metroplex, they came in there and bought it up, Contact Steel.
Bowie Culverts, were they a subsidiary of somebody? I don't think there was a culvert company at Bowie, but I don't know, for some reason, I don't think they were a distributor or something like Texas Steel.
There's never buying from manufacturer, we can get custom culverts. It's in the proper way, proper.
Sure can.
Okay, if we buy them solid stock, then we won't buy stock.
Some Seymour?
Seymour will build what you need.
That's Contact, that's what we want to
I
do.
just wondered where they were obtaining their culverts at that particular yard, because they've got a rather large supply of culverts. I'm just hoping for a competitive environment where we can.
The only other manufacturer that I know of that's anywhere near the area is, like Wilson Culver Steel, it's Franklin.
I've been talking to some people, those places consolidated, that have been purchased.
Yes.
Ownership has been unified. So I have no problem buying. I know that we work with the Texas Highway Department, that they ordered their
Seymour.
colors from Seymour.
Okay.
There is on 25th also.
Normally on the tires and tubes, we accept the state bid and utilize their,
So
so
we
I
said
don't
any-
know if there's any reason to bid that.
Okay.
You want to bid road materials,
Okay, to the three that I mentioned,
If you
culverts,
okay. I'll send it.
fuel,
But on that, just send a contact,
that's the only one I
That's the
know.
only one I know of.
okay?
At least they'll give us that price sheet, kind of give us an idea of what it costs us.
Does help.
Really not any reason to bid tires and tubes. See,
No, if we agree to take state contract on anything,
We'll just do a big one.
I think that has been the policy before that.
Yes.
we utilize, local availability on emergency circumstances.
We need to restate that. We need to restate that in the motion.
Yeah, well, at the time we,
Accept the bid.
do that for all these bids. And I don't know if that would need to be stated. We'll just move to, at that time, to accept the state contract. with our unions. Okay, that's road material, culverts, fuel. We received at 5 o'clock or 4 o'clock on the 22nd.
Is that 23rd?
22nd.
What is Friday?
Friday.
Oh.
And then our meeting will be on the 25th.
Okay, what time do you wanna open these? We do the others at 10, so you wanna just open these at 10:30?
4 p.m. 22. Open. 10:30.
Okay.
11:25.
Okay.
Okay, let's make that motion. I will. Okay, Rogers.
Second.
All in favor?
Sorry.
That's gonna be 3. And O and 2.
Abstain.
So I'm gonna send bid letters out to the 3 road materials and the fuel ones that I mentioned. Everybody, and then the contact. And I'll get those emailed back. And we'll advertise put it, like I said, Wednesday's paper, if not, I'll do it Sunday and Wednesday or whatever, and then but they'll have their letters in their hand. So.
Okay. Item number 12, Young County Appraisal District requesting refunds, one to Tim Brian for, how can I pronounce it? Brian, I guess it's Brian. $4.18 due to assessment error.
So moved.
Well, motion by Commissioner Sykes, second by Commissioner Pruitt to refund as stated, $4.18 to Tim Bryan. All in favor? Carried. Considering employee bonds, item number 13. We have a bond on Christina Sheridan, Deputy Tax Collector. Mr. Pruitt,
Second.
Wiley. And that's gonna be, to acknowledge such points. All in favor? Carried. All opposition? Item number 14, acknowledgement of deputation and oath of office for Sharon Oldfield, that's in the district clerk's office.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor of acknowledgement of said deputization? All in favor? No opposition? Item number 15 is a request from the Housing Authority of Newcastle for forgiveness of approved payment in lieu of taxes and resolution approving waiver of payment in lieu of taxes. I think this is something that's been done almost annually for as long as I can remember.
So moved.
Second. We have a motion by Mr. Wiley, second by Commissioner Sykes to approve of Rogers, excuse me. Wrote that down, right, this said it wrong. To grant request forgiveness of and waiving the payment of taxes, waiver of payment in lieu of taxes for Newcastle Housing Authority. All in favor? Carried, no opposition. Item number 16 is consider extension agent Brad Morrison, Penny Warren, Brad Morrison and Penny Warren's report and request for reimbursement at $749.75 and $525.03 respectively.
I have one question, Sheriff, before, I was gonna ask you before the court, I forgot all about it. On Brad Morrison's mileage, it's figured at 56 and a half. Is that what we're paying, 55 and a half per mile?
56.
Okay, because, Beans just figured 55 and a half.
You know, I've told both of them what it is. But also, I have to look at,
Good catch, Dave.
I thought it was still 55 and
It increased. Last
and
year.
I'll look at that and see, but the main thing is that what's in their budget, by the end of the year, they're gonna get everything out there, and they probably won't even get finished paying for.
This is their request for reimbursement, that's what they will be reimbursed.
I think it's.
I'll let Kenny know that,
It is.
In our mileage requests, educational conferences, things like that, what we've been paying lately,
56 and a half
56 and a half.
this year.
Just okay.
Yeah, it'll, in the end, she'll get all the money that's in her budget.
Yeah, she'll use up her budget.
Yeah.
But thank you, I'll tell her.
Board pleasure to approve the request is,
So moved.
okay. Second. We have a motion from Commissioner Syed, second from Commissioner Wiley to approve the request for reimbursement, from Brandon Morrison and Penny Warren respectively. All in favor? Carried. All opposite. Okay, item number 17, discuss planning for office storage space. Kind of last Friday, I had a visit from Jeff Mercer. I think Commissioner Syed brought up the Ripples Building. That's, I think that actual address is 701 Oak Street. Ironic, he came into the office Friday and said he had read all the reports and subsequent vote for the demolition of the old jail. Old jail, that's kind of ambiguous. Old jail, not the old jail. And he just made an offer that I want to make the board aware of, that he was offering that building back to the county. If somebody wished to, or if the majority of the board wished to own it, at $295,000.
I, looked at that building up on the tax rolls, and I couldn't find it.
Well, it's on there.
701 Oak Street is listed as Archery Specialties,
Yeah,
and it's only business personal property.
Yeah, it was-
Building's not
That
there.
whole,
yeah,
that whole
that's it.
thing
If
is,
you look further on that, it'll tell you who owns it.
They told me who owned it, and I looked further as far as I could see, and I couldn't find it, so I guess I need to just need to find it.
It was,
What's it on the tax rolls for?
Deer Realty LLC.
Steer Realty. Thank you, sir. How many square feet is it?
10,300 and something. I may have a card.
Here he's looking for storage space, there's a guy on, he said he had 7,000 square foot building, 3,000 climate control.
Red Wing Headaches also offered some of their storage space out there, climate control, for storage. Of course, that building. Young County already owns a freestanding metal building at precinct 1, but it's 3,200 square feet. That'd be economically, compared to the rest of the prices, turned into storage and office space that we already own, that we can secure, that is ours, and basically is there for our use.
Does it have a plumbing and stuff?
It's got plumbing in the rear restroom would probably have to be moved up to the front. The back, 1,600 square feet, has got 16-foot walls, which would accommodate the double deck for storage space. We store that in there, be secured. The front 1,600 square feet, we add restrooms, partition walls, and make whatever number of offices we might find requirements to dictate.
With regard to, if you're making any reference to the adult probation, I think that would be a very accommodating location for that use.
I'm not making any recommendation as to who would occupy that space at the moment. We would certainly need to look to find out whether or not they would. We could move some offices that are not so closely tied to the courthouse and use some of the space that they occupy and move it out there. I don't want to get into starting to say who we move or why we move, because that would require a discussion among us, the rest of us. But I think it'd be well worth the following, seeing what it would cost to retrofit that building for that particular use, since we already own it, and it's already sitting on county property. And it's a good building. It's a freestanding metal building. It's hollow inside. We can make it, shape it any way we want to, wire it any way we want to. All it requires is heating and air conditioning.
Precinct one has no use for it.
Sorry.
Precinct one has no use for it.
We are using it to store equipment now, and we're only using a very small part of it. We would probably need to move our equipment under an equipment shed.
It's on location.
I'm sorry.
It's on location.
No, sir. We would need to build an equipment shed. But we would need to build an equipment shed anyway. We got $750,000 of the county's money tied up in motor graders out there that need to be kept out of the weather. And that's what we're doing with the building right now. We're keeping our front end loader, our skid loader, and our steel wheel roller inside that building to give you an idea of the size, the back part of it. And it'd be easily converted to our needs. And once again, like I say, it's a building we already own and it'd be economical to use. And we can find the function for it.
Well, let's say the taxpayers want to move.
It's a lot. It's an asset, a resource that we need to manage as custodians of this tax money.
It's also,
A viable option.
it's also, I put my $1 million worth of equipment in there. That's, needs to be protected.
It does need to be protected, we need a shed to put it in. We don't need the inside of the building, when we need storage space and office space for it. We can handle both those, we can kill two birds with one stone.
I mean, all the equipment's under a shed. I think Jimmy does too. Not in the building.
There's no way to put 3 motor graders inside that building. Or water trucks or whatever.
I recall there were 2 or 3 bays in the main building that
And we could use
motor
those.
graders did stay in, used to stay in a lot.
Well, you can put one of them in there. One of them has a lift in it. And then 2 other bays are shops. And when we took that over, Schlumberger and built a tool in the middle of that shop space that laps over into both bays, so you got it pretty small.
Those are matters, discussion and planning. I put that on there because of the, offer from Jeff Mercer, with regard to the building that you specifically referenced and its mismanagement.
I don't think I referenced it as mismanagement when I said we got rid of a building we couldn't have used. And we know we were gonna need it at the time.
I think you were trying to project a little something on that with regard to mismanagement, simply because I was on court at the time the building was disposed of and got rid of it, put back on tax roll. But nevertheless, the circumstances were different 5 years ago and 10 years ago than they are today. He came over, we had about a 20-minute or 30-minute discussion. He came over specifically to make that offer, so I put it on there to make it known to the court of that. Also on that item is the JP1's request for shredding services. We did this a few months ago, where we created a date for Baker Pig to come by and set up, and I think they shredded 1,800 pounds, something like that. So, they can obviously, they come every other week, I think, to ground, so they can make a scheduled stop here on one of those days for one of the offices, specifically in this instance, JP1. But if there are departments that need to destroy a good amount of records like we did, we might want to set up a specific date for that. And
So we just talked to them and they scheduled it?
well, we we talk to departments, we'll talk to departments, see if they've got a number of records that they need to
Might have some old out
Destroy.
boxes if I can get them down.
let Timmy know. We'll schedule up a specific date to do that. Or if it's just one department like JP one, if that's the only one that needs to do that, they can obviously, I'm sure they've got money in their budget. No more than that cost. They can just talk about it.
Nancy's got some stuff out there, and if you wanted to, precinct one, you know, it's ready to go, you ready.
Several boxes and stuff.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that, they just get it out of their budget and go ahead and do it.
There's also, there's JP technology money, there's county clerk records management we can use.
Timmy, if you'll contact the departments, email all that and see if there's any other department that needs to dispose of some records. Destroy, and we'll schedule up a date, or if there's not any requests, we'll just turn that over to JP one.
Tell them the pigs coming.
The pigs, yeah.
Is there any other discussion?
I just hope that you would, come to Mercer, we appreciate it. Work our way out of the situation, and so far as mismanagement is concerned, I hope that, you know, your opinion about what we're doing with the old jail building, as far as mismanagement is concerned, does not come to fruition.
It's not what?
Does not come to fruition, that it was on mismanagement.
Well, I've already said that.
I know you
court, I didn't break out any specific person, I said action of the court.
understand.
And I
Same
said,
thing I brought up, selling those buildings.
well, Mr. Sykes, yeah, I don't want you to know all the circumstances that went on with regard to that, quite frankly.
You know, as a citizen of Young County at the time, I knew what was made of it.
And you thought that ought to keep it at that time.
I know that there was discussion about what we should be doing.
No action, that's a discussion item, there's no action on that. Item number 18, discuss and consider demolition and removal of 505, and that's 505 Second Street on Tax Appraisal Road, that is the 1921 jail. In the Law Enforcement Center, our last one over here, 12,300 square feet, doesn't have an address on our appraisal card, so. I put that on there because I'm requesting a formal contract for the services provided that's current. I think it needs to specify each service that's gonna be rendered. Needs to have completion dates to it, bad weather days, penalty for delay, performance bond, and the payment due then after the completion of the job. And I also would request that a report be given of the quantity of mild steel, stainless steel, other fierce metals, and a quantity of aluminum, brass, copper wire, and other non-ferrous metals. With regard to that.
For what reason? For what reason?
I'd like to know how much comes out of it.
You gonna ask for more money if more comes
No,
out? What do you do?
No, I'm not asking for any more money, I'm asking to see how much comes out of it. I'm gonna request that, just to see what the salvage value is. They have it on their estimate, and make note that that estimate is over a year old. They're allocating $1.25 per square foot for the salvage value. In other words, if Young County goes to keep the salvage, then up their price by $1.25 per square foot and make that actual cost about $50,000 for the demolition. I'd like to know how much salvage material actually comes out of it, because there's tons, maybe hundreds of tons of mild steel in there. And there's a considerable amount of aluminum, brass, smoke, yellow, and red brass, copper, tubing, copper piping, just like to know how much is in there. And how much, what the quantity is that come out of it. Also, you have in your packet the only appraisal that we have on that facility, which stands at $1,032,000, a little more. Obviously, if we bring that, and we don't actually have a current appraisal on there by professionals, so just rely on the only appraisal that is there, and that's from the Young County Appraisal District.
What did they have appraised at?
$1,032,440.
And appraisals and replacement.
Well, that's the market appraisal. Yes, obviously, it's, an exempt property, and that's taken away from the actual value that we assess taxes with. But it's their appraisal, it's the same
Who appraised it in what year?
Young County Appraisal District,
From the million and a half.
in 2012. You have in your packet the card there. The building was originally built in 76, 77 year. It was remodeled and expanded by about double in 87 and 88. It's still on the Young County depreciation schedule, and it's listed there only as the initial building. It's still on there at $155,000 according to our outside auditor. We've still got that much depreciation left in the original building. There wasn't any reference to the expansion and remodel, so we don't have any idea what that contributed. It evidently was expensed and not depreciated. The expense in the year that it was built or improved. This is not with intent to recall your vote of a couple of weeks ago or any matter of that. It's just to have it on record what the appraised value is, or the only appraised value that we have.
I would have to take exception to the manner in which that was done, but we know that home's not worth $1.5 million. That's it.
I'm not going to disagree with that, but it's the same outfit that appraises your business and your home and all the rest of the businesses and homes and other properties in Young County, Texas.
That being said, this appraisal, Young County Old Jail, is that the 557?
That's the crisis center. I think it's listed on there as being built in 1921. It was kind of confusing to find that. The only reference that I could find, it's not listed under Young County, it's listed under Young County Law Enforcement Center. And I had to go all the way to the appraisal district to show all the addresses didn't make sense and the square footage didn't make sense. This is the appraisal card. They don't have an address on it.
Once again, this is non-appreciated value. We both know that building has long been appreciated.
Well, after, replacing that building, obviously, if you replaced it as it is as a law enforcement center and confinement center, it would be twice, maybe 3 times that.
$4 a square foot?
Yes, that's what they're at. That's what their unit cost is.
I just think this page here is not going to work because it is a county building. And that if we were doing market value and you were a private owner paying taxes on that building, that you would not pay taxes on $1,032,000.
I'm not gonna argue that point. The point is, it's the only private building.
Right. I'm just saying that represents what actually exists there. As a first, what we're doing. I appreciate you bringing it up.
But with that number there, in the building across the street offered to us for $295,000, in the complex of buildings out there that you brought to the court being almost $700,000, I said, still don't see why y'all can't see there's some value in what we have.
700,000.
695.
Oh, that complex out there?
I still don't see why y'all can't see some value in that building over there.
Well, that takes, you know,
But I still,
but we still need to address a future need that's pending, and the building I brought to you today, that you did mention, the 3,200 square foot building we already own, that would be,
but you have $1 million worth of equipment out there that ought to be.
I inherited $1 million of equipment, setting up equipment.
We're past that item, we should discuss that item any longer. And this item is not for the recall of any vote or anything like that, it's to bring the court to the awareness of the value that Young County Appraisal has on the facility and the difference between the 1921 jail and the 1977 jail. They've got that old building, that old 1921 jail, valued at $104,700, if I recall right. Probably a reasonable appraisal of that facility structure. Argue with that all you want to. But this outfit appraises all of my property, and y'all's properties, business, homes, personal property. Obviously, I don't think that it would bring that if we offered it on the market.
Yeah, thank you for the information, I know where you're coming from, and so, thank you very much for the work you do.
The item is with regard to the contract, and that's a request from me, and I'll make that form of motion that we have a form of contract with these items requested in the contract. That is for it to be current. Specify each service that's rendered. To have a completion date, allocation for bad weather, and a penalty for delay. And there's obviously should have a performance bond. And I would like an accounting of the quantity of salvageable material that comes out of that. I think I put in your packets also price for those different, that looks easy attainable.
Do you think that he's going to separate each piece of equipment? Dissect each bar out,
Well,
dissect each.
if I were a salvager, I'd want that done, because there's substantial difference in price between the different metals.
It depends on how much labor intensity it takes to do it.
Okay. He's allocated $1.25 a square foot. I'd just like to know the quantity that comes out of it.
So you're asking to know that after you take it down, after you sold it, out, times what you sold,
Quantity?
you want to know before?
No, after, we just want to report on the invoice, the quantity is, I don't care anything about price, what he gets for it is immaterial. It's just how much of it is there.
Why would that be pertinent information?
Well, it would be interesting to know to me.
Interesting information.
Yes. And I think interesting should be interesting for anybody.
What if he chooses not to do it?
The court has the authority to contract.
I know where this is going. I know that you want to know exactly how much he's getting out of it.
No, I don't care how much he's getting out of it, I want to know how much material's in there to salary. Price is in material because the price is posted on the different.
I go back to what I say, John. What difference does it make if you don't know what the price, the cost of it is? You just want to know how much yellow stuff it is, knowing how much this is, and know how much metal, short iron, all that stuff.
What the tonnage of, mild steel, stainless steel,
As to what revenues.
I don't care about the revenue. I want to know what the tonnage is or the poundage.
It still doesn't make any sense.
Sir, is this just a roadblock you're putting in the way?
No, it's not a roadblock. Do you think we need a contract for that civil services?
Probably have a contract would be fine.
Does the auditor think that we need a contract?
I'm not sure it needs to entail the details that you just put.
I've never heard a contract on a demolition of that magnitude. You know, I know for a fact he's got $1.25 in there for the scrap. Well, that means that he don't have any labor involved in that scrap deal. Okay, that figure's $15,000. But that's no labor involved in that. That's just if somebody give it to you, you took it down there and dumped it. That's what you're gonna get. But you gotta,
No, that's what he's allocated for that. I don't know what he's gonna get for it. It doesn't matter.
He'll separate it for trouble if either here in his yard, he'll separate it for himself.
that's what I'm saying. It's a labor intensified deal either way.
If we agree to pay him $34,700, he gets a performance bond, and he tells us what the time is, and he tells us what it would cost in 50 days, I see no other reason to have those other details in the contract.
I wouldn't either.
Okay, that's fine. It's the authority of the court to do that. What I'm doing is requesting a contract that's current and with, at least most of those provisions in it.
We'll need to decide what provisions he got in before we vote on the contract.
Do you think it ought to specify the services rendered?
It's pretty well
You're
done.
talking about demolition of the building?
It pretty well does right there.
That's in the estimate. It's a little over a year old.
That has an estimate.
I like it.
A number.
I'd like a completion date. Do you have anything we need a completion date?
You tell it to be less than 7 days, it look like you want to do this. No problem. The only way to be bad with it is if it was lightning inside.
You believe there ought to be performance bond?
I think it's always good to know.
You think there ought to be any penalty for delay? Undue delay?
Undue delay?
Yeah.
Well, sure. Notify him, scrap, you got out, sell the building, kind of thing.
Well, I'd like to know that. Obviously, that's.
Ask him later when he gets that.
You find out, yeah, all you gotta do is find out where he takes it, and you can call that place and they'll tell you.
Mr. Miller, as the county attorney, do you have anything to add to this?
I got a question. Is this not something that will be required to be advertised for bids, for competition?
Well,
No, it's $150,000.
technically, probably not. It may be good to, we talked about bids earlier in the agenda. But, no, technically, probably wouldn't have to have a bid on that, if it's under $50,000, which, out-of-pocket funds is under $50,000. Allocation for the salvageable material, if you calculate that in there, it's still just short of 50,000.
As I understand, which was, he had an estimate, and then he had an estimate that we'd pay $1.25 a square foot in addition.
I think that's how that is.
For the scrap, but he would keep the scrap. We'd pay him to take the scrap out, is that?
No, sir, no, sir, no.
Or is that credit?
That's
In other words,
That's if we keep the scrap.
if we keep the scrap there, we pay him another $1.25 square foot. Which would go from 34.7 to 49.7.
Based on last year's estimate.
Yes.
That current discussion with this company, Jimmy,
Yes.
and they said that they'll do it for that bid.
Still for the same bid.
Can you get a redated bid?
Sure can.
Can you go join the stipulations and find out? What kind of, is this the same company producing the old Gibson's building for the First National?
Same company that First National Bank used to move the old Gibson building.
What kind of contract did they have with First National? Can you find out about that?
I can find out, see what kind of contract.
And bring it to the court, let's talk about it
Yeah.
again.
Sure can.
I move we table this discussion to the next meeting and let those things be found out for us before we make a decision based on lack of information.
I second that.
Mr. Sykes, and second by Mr. Pruitt, to, table the issue of a contract with regard to the demolition of the old law enforcement facility. All in favor? I just didn't vote on it. I absolutely believe there needs to be a contract.
We're still progressing down that line.
Item number 19, discuss formalities and disconnect utilities and demolition 505, whatever address it is.
Of course, having read that thing.
We just need to go ahead and notify the city, the gas company, and also the electric company, and get that thing disconnected before they ever start anything on it.
They already had the water turned off, and I think they took that meter, but do they need to do something else?
The water is turned off for the inside of the faucets and things of that nature. But the water to the fire suppression is turned off on the outside, which that must be tied to a different meter. And that's another thing we're gonna have on that. The electrical needs to be taken care of, and also the gas needs to be taken care of.
Do you think we should do the electric at the very end? I mean, is there any other things in there?
We don't need any more electricity in there.
Everybody's got, I thought juveniles had their stuff in there. I talked to
There-
Jay earlier.
Jay said he's supposed to find out today.
All right.
So, and if it's the way the electrical people are, it may take a week, 2 weeks to get, it's still, how long it'll take,
We can schedule it whenever we want.
but, we need to get this stuff in the works and get them cut off date.
Does, John, does maintenance have all their stuff out there?
Yes,
I don't know.
everything's out of maintenance.
I know they got their weed eater thing down in the basement. I don't know where the lawnmower is.
Lawnmower precinct one.
At the end of this month. So that really will determine on the number of projects and maybe what projects we want to do.
Jim wants us to give him all the projects we have in the county that are related to this oil and gas damage stuff. So if you will, gentlemen, I'd like to ask you to take that road report, put down a particular road, put on there, that the damage has been caused by overweight oil and gas traffic, and give me some sort of estimate on per mile or whatever it may be, culvert, bridge, whatever, that's what the cost of that would be, so that we can begin to put our application package together. I have asked for that to be done in my precinct on the several roads that we've got concerned with, so if you try to get those into us, so we've got those particular things, we know our total. So we can compare our total against what we're going to be receiving. Because I'm not so worried about the total that we're getting versus what we've got. We're going to have some problems here maybe in allocating that to these particular projects as soon as we get the lot. So,
Well, that's the thing that the director said, he really wouldn't bog down as to how many different projects, as long as there's projects, he wasn't really bogged down in the CERT's location, just as long as we had CERT, it's a yes or no question on the application. But the thing that Mike's talking about too is for future, because they're gonna go back in 2 years, if this is doing the way it's working, the way that thing's gonna be working, and then ask for more money. They're gonna ask for more money.
Right.
And the other thing about this deal is too, is the one thing that wasn't really explained till this meeting Thursday is the fact that we have to spend the money first before we get the money.
That's normal.
So what we're gonna be doing is they're gonna reimburse us the 80% of that project is what they'll do.
And they said, I mean, there's many projects, I may have 3 projects, you may have 5, but if Archer County, let's just say, doesn't take their part of the money, then they split that back up within the state, and then,
it'll be proportional reality.
More or less, it's kind of the way I understood it, Mike, tell me if I'm wrong. The ones that get it in the first, they're gonna start allocating that money. And when it's gone, it's gone.
But we might get an additional money.
They are,
But they got so much set aside for each county.
they got so much.
Sure, the counties that won't make application, the ones that are getting a very small, so that'll be a very small amount of money.
The other thing he said was on those sea turds is that we need to get with Fluke and sit down with that map and then find out exactly where everything is. But he said also too, you gotta think of the future for oil and gas exploration. That's something else he said you need to be thinking of is the future, when you start setting up your sea turds.
I've discussed this with Terry Shiflett at he does the mapping with the county appraisal district. The line that the sea turds will follow needs to be done in taxable parcels rather than a line, so we don't need to divide those parcels. We'll set out our meets and bounds of those, make sure that it includes a whole parcel.
Yeah, that's the same thing that Jim told us that, because all these parcels are numbered on that map, and it makes it easier for them, the president wants to do the figuring.
The lane early on was toward the county
Taking the entire
being
county.
an entire sea turds. Anyway,
Right.
it sounds like that's probably not the viable thing to do.
Many counties are doing that, but it depends on how much they're being allocated. The situation there is that any appreciation in taxable values of the sea turd will be dedicated to that sea turds, but we can reduce the amount of road and bridge to offset. As a matter of fact, Jim said even though it's a 10-year period, we can actually,
You can
vote at any time to abolish it.
abolish it anytime.
So it's, we've got a key there, so.
Yeah. You still have control.
Okay, anything further there?
No, it sure may be, we need to look at real carefully, maybe a good way to plan having some better county roads by guaranteeing some funds, all we don't have to get away from other things that we did.
That's consideration with regard to the tax appreciation that may be applicable to a particular area. And that dedicated amount may affect the general operations of the county. Anything on burn restrictions? Okay, item number 44 is canvas. The prosecution held an election on November 5th, 2013. Ms. Taylor and Ms. Sullivan. I guess that's Mr. Harper.
Ms. Sullivan.
First of all, we didn't have any absentee voters. No one, I mean, as far as mail-in votes, no one wanted to do a mail-in ballot. So your first report is just going to say 0 all the way across the board. There's no mail-in votes. We had about 404 early voters, which we can compare that with the tally tape, but we're not going to be able to compare the for and against, because that's just not how the tally tape is broken down. So today we're going to be comparing election day voters, because the tally tape actually breaks that down. You know, how many people voted for a Proposition 1 and how many people voted against it. So if each of you want to take a different precinct, we will about 10 minutes.
Just seems like most all of the propositions made over the state, and I think all of them passed in Young County.
And I think voter turnout for the state was a little over 8%. Voter turnout for Young County was a little over 7%. So we're about state average. So 7%. I think that's what it is.
7.43. 844.
But we had a lot more.
Hopefully there was 5 right here, because I voted.
Well, we had a lot more show up for early voting. The 2011 constitutional amendment election, we had 160 voters. For this election during early voting, we had 404. So we more than doubled it. And I think the water, I think it's probably 6 or 7 to the water. Probably a lot of people have, so.
Trying to say people have one.
These days they do.
Okay, they were precinct combined,
Correct.
We had 4 different polling locations. So how was it? First time?
It was not bad, but I sat.
At least this was a good learning.
It was. I sat in Olney all day and got to watch kind of how everything went.
Her polling location was our busiest of the day, so she kind of trial by fire.
Yeah, there's several copies.
Okay, what is these are all?
They should have all be this one. Yes. Yes. There's probably 3 copies in each envelope.
Yeah, because typically it'd be Republican, Democrat.
Right. Yeah. That's the 0 tape. It shows there were no votes on that machine to begin with.
Yeah, the recorded access code.
Yes. That was probably canceled out. And you guys are comparing at the top, it'll say election voters.
No, it should be like the
And that's what
third.
you're comparing.
Third.
That one, right, this total, this election, this is your election day and votes. So that's what you're comparing.
Precincts 5, 6, and 7.
And each proposition is, there's 1 per page, so you're gonna have 9 pages. Yes. That's what you're gonna compare. So on the tape, it'll show how many voted for and how many voted against, and that's what you're comparing for each proposition.
And that's what you're gonna do for each proposition.
See here where we have a visiting judge, okay, right like Judge Ron Wallace. Got email eyes.
Oh.
Okay. Check it out somewhere.
So you do 5, 6, and 7,
5, 6, and 7.
Stacy,
You have 22. Okay.
no, we'll like a judge to sign the next order. We'll be good.
Yeah. Did it work out, Mike?
You got your own grocery store.
And the 4th report, just for your information, is just total voters. This is just who showed up, or not who, but how many showed up for early, and it's just kind of an all comprehensive, long report. So.
We didn't sign anything. I really vote early than I had during the election.
You'd rather you vote early. It's easier on us.
Good deal.
Do you have any questions?
3.55%, you voted early.
Yeah, I think, we'll say on election day, we had about 400 voters, and we had about 400 early voting, so.
I think some of the people that voted no on that water didn't understand what it was about.
Well, and that might be something we look at in the future, is maybe Sometimes it's done in paper.
Election went off without a hitch.
You're leaving, Brian?
We had some tech issues, but,
call
we resolved those.
Was over
Do we have to answer?
If you want.
Otherwise, I'll say refuse.
For the record, were there any discrepancies found in canvass of the election of the constitutional amendments?
5, 6, and 7.
None found. Entertain a motion to accept the canvass of
So moved.
constitutional amendment election.
Yeah.
An hour ago.
I say that.
Robbie? Fantastic.
It's good to have Ms. Sullivan on board. All in favor of accepting the canvass? Carried. Is there any opposition to adjournment?
Make a motion to adjourn.
I'll say.